Excuse you. At least it'll be a quick podcast.
Yeah, all right, we're live on YouTube.
Waiting for the link to come up.
I got the link, but I don't see anybody.
There we go.
My neighbor said the Wi-Fi has been messed up all day. I hope it doesn't give us an issue.
Theirs and yours are not the same.
No?
No.
I look like I'm homeless, but it's fine.
Okay. All right, so we're live on there. Okay.
Why can't I see anything? I have to go back.
All right. All right, there's 51 people in here. Let's see.
You can't see the mannequin's head.
What the fuck does that matter?
Rob's going to say something.
Oh, no. Well, why doesn't he fight me? He's not going to do shit. Ray, the camera, pull it towards you a little bit.
Let me move it to back. Yep, keep
No, actually, you know what, Ray? Tilt it up in the air a little bit more instead.
In the air.
That's fine. All right. Yeah, let's just get the podcast started. You can live at my house. Rob died today, everybody, just so you know. So
Who said that?
I'm telling everybody.
You're telling everyone that my husband died?
Yep.
Yes, because I would totally be on the podcast if my husband died.
I thought we were celebrating. All right, going live.
What a fucking asshole.
In 3.
You're not going to test it?
The audio?
Yeah, I mean, this is like I'm surprised. That's like your thing.
Dude, right now, got the Giants on. I got a lot of money on this game.
Rob ain't even in the live stream. He's probably sleeping.
Where the fuck is... When Rob texted me last night and he said like his final goodbyes like he always did, I literally wrote back, tomorrow is Thursday. The only day tomorrow is back day. I was like, you're going in the hospital, but it's like...
What are his final goodbyes? I really want to know.
He just, no, that's between the guys. It's just...
Oh, it's in the group chat?
No, it's just it's just us two, but it's just, you know...
Hey,
it's just another day. I told him he'd be fine. He is fine. And that's it. If you think positive, everything's positive.
I kept telling him, I'm like, can you please think positive? And he's like, no, I'm whatever. And I'm like, I can't. I'm going to bed.
Man, we got all of the bros in the house. We got Riding with Rowdy. We got Rob in here. We got Zach.
Okay.
Burns.
All right. That's actually YouTube works in heaven because that's Rob writing because he passed away today. So.
YouTube works in heaven.
All right, ready? Let's go live.
We purposely put that in there.
3, 2, 1.
Marissa says to me sometimes, your legs are getting bigger. No, bitch, they ain't getting bigger because I don't train no goddamn legs. You're listening to the glorious House of Gainz podcast. Here's your host, Robert Frank.
You're that CrossFit guy that bashes CrossFit. And I'm like, yeah. Like, dude, I love your shit. Can I take a picture?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Glorious House of Gainz podcast, and I will be your co-host for the evening.
Who's the host? Me?
Absolutely. I was trying to get there, but you interrupted it, so I guess now you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm MBJ.
And to her
don't
right,
even dare.
And to her right, we have the man that's co-piloting the ship, producing the Borsonite, the Butcher, the Baker, Mr. NPC, as I will put some respect on his name, Joey NPC. What up, Joe?
Another one. Also, what's funny is today I was actually told by my wife when I was getting ready this morning, she said, your stomach is looking very small.
Yeah, you look good.
Okay.
I was very proud. And again, I'm like nowhere near where I want to be.
But if it's noticeable, it's a milestone. That's an achievement.
It's an improvement. Yep. So
I can see it on you.
I'm happy. I got a lot more to go, but I'm happy.
Wait, I'm sorry. Why did Rob just write in the super chat? Can't wait for the 28 minutes Patreon member read. Who's doing that?
Joe.
I do it.
You're doing that?
Yeah, I always do it.
How'd you know what to do?
What? How do I know how to do this? You mean when Rob was in the hospital for 2 months and I did it?
Oh, okay.
This
When you fucked up everybody's name.
Where
Got
the
it.
fuck
Sorry,
have you
sorry,
been?
sorry.
Okay. So,
I got it. It's been a long day.
Ray, do you want to intro like what's been going on? I'm sure people obviously want to know today what's
So
happening.
yeah, a couple of people even before the show started were like, "Hey, Rob, get your ass in here." And for those of you who don't know, Rob went in for some major surgery, lasting about 8 hours today. And boy, let me tell you, I was very relieved when I got the news from Marissa saying that surgery was a success. Definitely was able to breathe a little bit easier because we were all worried. So we're glad that the bro was actually awake and even in the live stream with us here tonight.
Yeah, so Rob's in the live stream. We're going to give him a call in a little while. We're obviously going to do the normal things we do, read the Patreon. And then MBJ will get a little into what her day was like today because Ray and I, obviously don't really know what happened. We both went to work today like a normal day. Rob obviously went into surgery and she was there with him so she could explain. I really have very little.
I actually went to work today, too.
You did?
I did.
All right. Well, you know way more than us 'cause I honestly don't know much of anything. And I don't.
But
think
I
Ray,
also work 500 feet from
so
where he was.
But you got all the updates, and
Correct.
so you'll be able to give everything.
Did you actually get anything done today? Like, were you actually able to focus at all
So
today?
I actually did. It was weird. So I was like, I probably won't. And my boss and everybody else was like, why are you working? Whatever. But I knew how long the surgery was. So I was like, what am I? I'm in
Good way to keep your mind focused.
The waiting room is literally on one side. I turn the corner, go into a different building, 5th floor. That's my office. So like, why would I just sit in a waiting room?
Be a little bit more specific so people can come visit your work? Jesus Christ! And it's the sign with the you literally just gave away where you fucking. But yeah, we'll call Rob in a few minutes, and as always, Rob does the Patreon, and I butcher it. It's been a few months since I.
We're
going to
have some fun with this, so it's time for us to get into our God Amongst Men members. Oh yeah.
I almost want to play the music all the way through.
Let it rock.
because
Just let it rock on low.
I'm not good at doing this. So here we go. I'm going
Turn
to
it up a
butcher
bit, Joe.
your name. Are you ready? Here we go. Christopher Kavanaugh. DK? You know what? As I'm reading this, I'm almost wondering if he slid someone's name in here. I'm gonna Seymour Butts.
Did you specify which Patreon they are?
Yeah, Ray just said. Yeah.
God Amongst Men.
Yeah.
Okay.
B.A. Charlie, Ryan Sykes, Anthony Cordula, Calder Ness, Michael Vigliotti, Drew Whalen, Minnesota Matt, Brady Davis, Shane H., Brian Palmer, Anthony Caniglione, Andrew D. Spade, Brando Commando, Tyler Price, Harry Pasco, Jay Marsh, Dusty Wing, Harry Pasco. I said that twice. It's on here twice. Maybe they're related. Maybe they're father-son. Who knows? Rob's probably said it a million times, and he's going to be like, how the fuck don't you remember? And I'll tell him that I usually tune him out when he's talking and doing this. Alpha and Omega, John Kuchak. Oh, fuck, I remember this name last time. I fucked it up every week. It says, when I'm looking at it, Jacquees Irvin, but I remember his name was like Jackie's.
No, it's not.
No? Jake's? Jake's Irvin. Chicano Batman. D. Tibbs. Lane Yardley. Jeremiah Robinson. Carl Angel Sr. Vincent Baffa. A Certified G. Jeremy J. Joe Arakawa. Whiskey Biz. Kevin Zermino. Broker Mavidi. Almost there. Chris M. Kiwi Jace. Colin Moretti. And the one and only Spenny.
All right, Joe. Not
Nice.
too bad. Not too bad, Joe.
Now, the elite. You're not even singing while Rob's in the hospital, you fucking dick.
Listen, I've already went over this. Today is just Thursday. I knew he'd be fine.
Okay.
I
then
knew
you
he'd be
go.
fine.
Let's replace our shoes.
Sure. And do what?
Do you see my face?
Listen.
Today was not just fine.
It's fine because if I was you, this is how my day would have started. Checking in. Okay, you're at the hospital. Okay, I'm going to go to work now. Walk by the room again. Looking good. All right, see, I'm going home. Bye. The hospital's taking care of him. He's fine. He is in a really good hospital. Again, I have just a confidence level that's different from most people. There's no reason to get nervous. What he did was scheduled, right? And I tried telling him this weeks ago when he was nervous. He did not go in for unscheduled surgery. He's already had 2 unscheduled surgeries. Emergency surgeries.
Yeah.
Those you get concerned about. But when you have a doctor at a top university with a top education who's done the surgery a bazillion times, most of which was successful, almost like 99.9% of the time, right?
Yeah.
You
there was
schedule.
one, yeah.
You scheduled this. There's nothing wrong.
It's like Tom Brady going in for game day.
But
Yes.
that's the thing. So like when you go in for these things, you can have all those things and complications still happen.
Sure they can, but
With
I
But
don't.
in Rob's head, all he replays
It's
are those
complication.
complications.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I can't help that. That's fucking on him. And if and we go over this every time we're at the gym together or we have conversations, I do not contribute to those conversations. If something comes out that's negative, I just let him talk to himself.
For me, he's afraid of being under anesthesia for so long, and he's like, "What if I don't wake up?" I'm like, "Not waking up is the least of your problems.
Well, here's the
bag is the majority of your problems.
Here's a good story.
You're gonna wake up. I'm not worried about that.
I told him that this 8 hours of sleep is probably the most sleep he's had in a long time. He'll probably
we'll
wake up
get
feeling
into
good.
that actually. I can get into that a little bit.
Here's a good story, and I didn't tell him in advance, but I texted him after he woke up and told him I want to tell you something later on. So you know how like years ago I had like what is it like I saw him being sick and whatnot in the
Yes.
hospital. Okay, so
I remember that.
yesterday
Wait, that came
but-
to life.
yes, but now
So
yesterday
late to the party.
yes.
All right.
It's
Well,
like-
I'm also
it's like
been
processing.
I only slept 3 hours.
So Rob, I know you're listening, and I didn't tell you last night, but I did go to sleep thinking, oh man, this is gonna be really shitty if it comes true. Now, the reason I didn't think it would come true is because it wasn't something that I saw. My wife saw it and then told me about it, and then I was like, well, it wasn't me, and I believe that I can like see things down the road, and she just happened. It's coincidence, right? She was watching Grey's Anatomy yesterday, coincidentally, and she's watching an episode where a girl goes into the ER in the hospital on the show for the colostomy bag or ileostomy bag, whatever. They put her under anesthesia, and she never woke up, and she died. Last night on the show that she's watching.
How ironic.
So I was
well,
like,
I mean, on Grey's Anatomy, that is what the show is about. It is about a hospital and operating.
I know,
so,
but to be so specific,
I
to
know.
be the night before he goes in,
I know.
for it to be an episode that has to do with the bag, the anesthesia, which he was worried about, and then she died and didn't wake up.
This is how you know that I'm traumatized from changing his ostomy and looking at the stoma, because the night before, 2 nights before his surgery, I didn't tell him this, but I literally had a nightmare and I couldn't go back to bed because he went for a surgery. Everything was fine, but then he woke up and he had 3 stomas. So there were 3 of them just looking at me, and I was like, I can't do this.
Is that even a thing?
No,
No.
it's not even possible.
Oh, okay. So it's
Marissa's
just fucking you.
That's just my brain.
I wonder why he sometimes gets like these thoughts in his head. Is it?
I didn't
because-
tell him that.
I'm saying, is it the two of you together combined with the like?
I
the-
didn't tell him
The
that.
negative energy, maybe.
Oh, they're full of negative.
you fucking.
I
had-
am not.
You just had
No,
a
no, no,
nightmare
no.
that he has 3 stomas.
But I'm not full of.
Cyclops stoma looking at you.
But what I put out, like from day one, I knew that this was going to be. I'm not negative like that. He's negative. I had no. When he literally tells me how he's not going to wake up from anesthesia, I'm like, please stop talking to me. You are going to wake up from anesthesia.
Well, good news, everybody. He woke up from anesthesia like we thought. So he's good. And now let's get to the elite. We already played the song, and here we go. I'm going to butcher all your names. William Burns. Fuck, this guy's name's, the ink is covered over it. Joe Burke. Yep, Joe Burke. JXPX Wheeler. TJ Anderson. Kevin Hackey. Bill Burns. Anthony Clark. Mark Massaro. Nathan Tejada. Victor. James, John Nelson, Damian McCoy, Eric Papadoc 43 Perez, Cody Lawson, Zach C, and none other than, and I know he's in the building,
Zach G. Yo, Zach, welcome back, man.
Hi, Zach.
Yo, Zach, big up on the comeback with the arm, brother. Hope everything is good with that.
Yeah, speaking of surgeries, he had some surgery as well, right?
Yeah, he had his bicep done.
Yep.
Someone said MBJ needs a drink and a nap. They are correct.
All right. Well, I guess we'll get. So, I mean, Marissa, before we call Rob, why don't you just tell everybody?
He said he'll jump back in. He's getting a sponge bath.
All right. Why don't you tell us what like your the day was like today for you? Because obviously you experienced it all, and then we'll give Rob a call.
I did experience it all. Rob will tell you that I didn't. But anyway, he had to be at the hospital at 5:20. So he had like the whole prep to do the night before. I kind of explained everything, but I typically go to bed early anyway. But I was like, he's good. All he has to do is do all that. Woke up at 4. I showered, everything. I woke him up. I left for the house, got there. They check him in, and I don't know, we checked in like 5:30, and then that's like the pre-op like check-in. So they check us in. We wait there for like 5 minutes, and they're like, Rob. And they're like, okay. And then like they weigh him or whatever, and I'm like still standing there. But I already know that like you can't go back in pre-op, especially with COVID. Like they're very strict about that. So I already knew that. I explained that to him multiple times that once you go back there, like that's it. I won't see you until afterwards. So I'm like looking. They weigh him, and then he goes to go back,
Okay,
and I'm
time
like,
out. You said they weighed him?
yeah.
Do you want to discuss his weight? Do you know his weight?
I don't know if he wants me to tell people his
Okay,
weight.
then don't. I'd like to write it on a piece of paper when you're free because I am kind of curious.
I never told you his weight.
No, I mean, I believe I know what it is because me and him get on a scale at the gym, but we
Yeah.
have clothes on. So it's like you don't ever know, do you have 10 pounds of clothes on? Do you have 20 pounds? Okay, that's close.
But
was that butt naked?
That was 2 weeks before, and then the morning of was that. So
Okay.
he did do a little better.
But was he butt naked?
No, with clothes on.
Okay, so then you got to subtract just like, I don't know, 2-3 pounds.
But what's crazy is this one's basically butt naked because that one was
Well, we've been
when
doing
he did his scope.
Yeah, it's crazy
This
how
one
much
was
weight he put on. Like it's ridiculous.
Well,
the
what's
amount of weight he
crazy
put on.
is the doctor specifically told him not to.
Yeah,
They
trust me.
specifically- I
the amount of
texted
conversations
you.
we-
I told Joey. I said, you guys need to tell him to stop focus on getting big
Hey,
and do his cardio because he's not going to listen to me and he
don't
doesn't
listen to nobody.
Yeah.
So then the night
Yes you to
before,
death.
I'm scared they're not going to be able to do this because I put on too much weight. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
now he wants to fucking.
I don't
worry
know
about
what
it.
to
Yeah,
tell
I
you
just-
because
yeah.
when I tell you these things, you tell me that, oh, I know what I'm doing. I don't need to be told what to do.
Yeah, he gonna do what he wanna do.
You fucking put on 60 pounds, if not more. So no, you need to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they go to check in. They weigh him, whatever. I can't tell you the weight because it was in kilo, whatever. I don't fucking know that conversion.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, babe, good luck. Love you. Like, I'll see you. And he's like, where are you going? I'm like, you're going in for surgery. I'm going to wait for you. Like,
I'm going downstairs to work.
that is what we do upstairs to work. So I went upstairs and I'm telling you, I didn't think I was going to get that much work done. I literally got so much work done between 5:45 in the morning and 11 o'clock that like for one split second, very split second, he'll never let me live it down. I forgot that he was actually in the OR.
Yeah, but that is a good thing. Do you know my wife when Casey went in, she had her gallbladder removed because it was like acting up and they almost had to do emergency surgery, but they scheduled it real quick and got her in, and it was done with the robot. Literally the second she went in, her mom wanted to like accompany me as well, so we both go there. As soon as they closed the doors and she went in the room, I looked at her mom and I said,
There he is.
I looked at my mom and I said, I looked at
him?
her mom, yeah, and I said, I'll be back. And I went to my brother's and played video games. I left the hospital.
But it's different for this type of surgery.
Yes and no. I'm just saying.
Rob
it's
left
good-
when I had ankle
it's
surgery.
Good. It's good to relax. Is my point. All right.
Oh, I was not
We're,
relaxed. I was
we're-
just
Caller,
distracted.
caller, you're live on the Glorious House of the Gainz.
Sorry, what
State
is your name and where are you calling from?
Caller.
Sorry, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Sir, can you hear us? What is your name and where are you calling from, sir?
Can you hear me?
We can
We
hear
can hear you, sir.
But you haven't identified yourself.
What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Rob, and I'm calling from the hospital.
Oh, hi, baby.
Hello, Rob.
Yo, I'm in so much fucking pain right now. It's not even funny.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do this fucking chat, but they just gave me 2 more. I think I'm up to 15 oxys, and dude, it's doing nothing. I'm in so much fucking pain.
I can imagine, man.
Well, yeah, I
Just
mean,
talking, breathing, anything. I'm in pain.
Yeah, we won't keep you, bro. We're just glad that you made it and the people wanted to know that you were okay.
Yeah, I'm alive for now. But listen, it's
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Do you want to give us a brief description, and then we'll let you go? I mean, what was your day like?
Woke up, went to the hospital, got my stomach ripped apart. I'm pissing blood and shitting blood still. But that's normal, they say. My catheter was like straight blood. It was disgusting. I'm still shitting in a bag. My stomach is in fucking, like, it's starting to go up to my neck now. That's how bad I'm in pain.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you're aware of what they did. They did a major surgery on your stomach, but obviously the end result was for you to have a good life going forward. The question is, did all of that go successful? You're going to have pain. This shit's going to be like this for a while. That's why they told you out of the gym for 2 months, stay off your feet for, the next couple of weeks or whatever. You knew that was but you obviously, in order to get to the end result, you were going to have to go through this pain. So I hope you at least acknowledge that. And know that it's for, this coming summer, you'll be able to be back to the way things were. So you're making the sacrifice to have this pain.
Just like you said, brother, pain is weakness leaving the body.
Yeah, I say that until I'm in a lot of fucking pain.
What did they, when you woke up, did they say, hey, we used the robot, we didn't have to cut you open, everything's good? What did they say to you?
I'll be honest with you, I don't even remember waking up. I don't know what we talked about.
You just know, though, that they did use a robot, right?
Right.
Okay, which was something we wanted done, because if they cut you open, if you think this pain is bad, you'd be in you'd have the wound pain also of being cut from the fucking entire stomach. So that's good. And as far as they accomplished what they wanted, which was your number one scare, so far so good, right? They believe that they fixed it. Now, obviously, it's still a waiting game, another couple months to verify that there's no issues. But so far so good, right? Everything's positive?
Everything is positive, yeah.
Today was a win.
Okay.
It's a win. We needed a win. We got to win.
This was a win.
Congratulations. Yes.
This is the best thing that could have happened.
Now, how long are you in the hospital for minimum? Do you know?
4 or 5 days.
Okay, so today's Thursday. So it's possible you're back home for the next podcast, but you'll be there this weekend and, for the beginning of next week a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'll be home for next podcast.
You got tubes in your nose or anything? The things you were worried about?
No.
No, just in my stomach.
I
Okay.
told him that. He did not believe me, and then when he came to the room, he said, I don't have any tubes. I'm like, I know.
Well, my hope was if he got tubes in his nose and he looked like really fucked up, I was going to get to the hospital tomorrow to get a photo for the gram. We needed like the weakest Rob with me next to him. But since he looks okay, I'll be there Saturday. I'll come and visit. I know the visiting hours and all that stuff, so I'll come by. I'll find out before I get there if you're allowed to have any gifts or anything like that, or candy or whatever the fuck. I doubt
He
it.
has
But
no diet restriction.
no? All right, so then I'll bring liquor. We'll drink.
No,
No, you just said no diet restrictions. We usually drink on weekends, and now that Rob's on his way back to health, we will be drinking on weekends.
Some of that-
Okay. No,
Sure.
you will not be drinking on weekends. This is the most crucial part to heal.
All right, so like in 6 months we'll be drinking.
6
on the
months you
weekends.
can drink on the weekends,
Okay.
which
All
will
right.
probably be when Rob goes back to the gym.
All right, we'll be good. So anything
All right.
else, Rob? Anything you want to fill us in on? Anything going on?
No, just thank everybody for all the well wishes and the DMs and the emails and everything. As always, I'm really having a hard time talking because I'm in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get off now, but don't forget to read the ultimate mass stack winner if you haven't already.
Got it. No, I haven't, but I will. We already read the Patreon members, and we talked briefly. Marissa gave her, description of what her day was like today.
Not really. I got interrupted.
All right. Well, sorry. So we'll let MBJ talk a little, and then everyone will obviously sign off at that point, because no one's gonna want to hear. I'm just kidding. Sorry, I'm watching the Giants game in the background too, Rob. You got a big football game on tonight, but I'm glad you're okay. Ray, you want to say anything to Rob?
No, man, just glad you're amongst the living, brother.
Thank you. All right, I'll talk to you guys.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Later.
Poor guy.
So here's what's going to happen. He will say tomorrow that he doesn't even remember calling us.
Probably not.
Yo, it was hilarious. Like, so whatever. Anyway, that goes on. I'm going to tell you the rest. That goes on. I go up into my office. I get work done. And then I get a phone call at like 1 o'clock. So I got a text that he was in the room at 7:30. So I knew they started on time. And then I got a call at like 1. And it's hard because they're calling from the OR. So you don't. Like, I couldn't really understand, and the person had an accent, and I'm really bad with accents, like, understanding them. But from what I gathered, they were telling me that, like, the J-pouch was done and everything was, like, successful. But I didn't want to update anybody until I confirmed with the surgeon that, like, okay, this was good. But if it went wrong, they would have called me and said, listen, we tried to do it. It wasn't right. But I wasn't updating anybody until I had that, like, confirmation, which of course wasn't until like 2.5 hours after that conversation. But he doesn't know anything, and he's right. So when you wake up from anesthesia, like, you're delirious. So they'll tell him stuff. But when he saw me at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. And I went out, and he was still kind of like off, dozy, whatever. And I like woke him up, and I was like, hey babe, you did great. And he's like, they had to cut me open. I was like, no, they didn't. And he's like, yeah, they cut me open. And I was like, but they didn't cut you open. They made they did. I mean, he's not lying, but they didn't have to do what they did last time. They made a small incision.
Yeah, for the goddamn robot to go inside.
But that's painful too.
Sure.
I mean, the robot went in like 5 different spots. I mean, that's painful.
Yeah,
he's going to be in pain.
And they basically like were making spaghetti inside of him, like fucking tossing.
But again, I feel like the only thing he's worried about is like him not waking up from anesthesia. The fact that he went to the hospital, there's one shot to do the J-pouch. This was the shot to determine whether he has the bag the rest of his life or can possibly have it removed. That was today. It was successful. That was a win.
I looked at my phone.
It was a win.
After like the 5th hour, I probably looked at my phone every 20 minutes waiting for your message.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, it was forever. It took forever.
If it makes you guys feel any better, because I'm not trying to sound like I'm like a serial killer or murderer, but like I don't think about it. And
you never do. You're the most emotionless person I've ever met in my life.
Casey texted me today and literally said word for word.
She texted me too.
You need to learn to have empathy for others. It's really a quality about you that I hate. This is in another non-related scenario about something else I did today. So it's not. I don't want people on here because I read people. Joe's fucking cold-blooded. It's not Rob. It has nothing to do with Rob. This is how I am.
But you also, I feel like, focus on one thing and one thing only.
Correct.
So like if you're at work, you're focusing on work.
Yeah, but I was just never worried about this because back in the day when they would like kill people, they would literally cut them open and like tear their intestines out in public and like just pull the shit out in front of people. So I was thinking to myself, if they did that while the person was alive and screaming, Rob's going under anesthesia by one of the highest paid people on planet Earth. That's one of the highest paying jobs on planet Earth, the anesthesiologist. You would know.
I do have to say that.
Ray, did Jones just score another touchdown?
I can't. I am.
So
not
when you say that Rob probably got the best sleep of his life, it was actually funny because the surgeon said, like during the surgery, while she's in there, like she's thinking to herself, like, is he relaxed? Like, I feel like he's not relaxed because, like, you can feel, like, because Rob has the tension and the muscles. And she, like, because most people, when you're under anesthesia, like, you're, like, dead weight. Rob wasn't. Like, he was just, like, so it's, I don't think,
well,
like,
it's wild because you hear, back in the day, I don't know if it's a common occurrence now, but you hear the stories of people who are under and they're completely conscious and they can't speak or move, but they feel everything.
I was afraid that like under that long, like what if he does wake up during anesthesia? But like for me, I had positive thoughts. I knew that this was going to work. I did. But at the same time, there's also wishful thinking and positivity. And then there's reality. Yeah. The reality is Rob was first diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, had to go to the hospital, had his colon removed, had 2 emergency surgeries, and then was on infusions and still had colitis. So that's the thing. Now that the J-pouch worked, great. This is definitely a win. There's still a tiny piece of rectum that's holding that J-pouch.
Yeah, and there's still...
So he has to take care of that.
Yeah, so there's this... It ain't... the moral of the story is it ain't over yet. I mean, you still got a ways to go.
My guess would be him going back into the gym with my guess. I have not talked to anybody because Rob would be like, did you talk to the doctors without me? My guess would be not until after the last surgery.
Yeah, but that should be the least of his concern.
It should be,
that.
but it's not
but it
gonna
never
be.
is.
Yeah, but I'm saying his concern should be that this was done successfully and now it actually stays this way forever.
But he can't
But to
fuck
me,
it up.
like, okay, I can't work out the rest of the year or have a shitbag the rest of my life. Like,
Yes.
it should really be like an easy
Correct.
decision.
Like very, very easy.
Like, not even a thought. Like, it should just be like, not have the bed the rest of my life.
So Rob mentioned about the winner of the Ultimate Mass Stack. So I'm going to announce it now. How long are we into this podcast? Probably about a half an hour in. And the winner is, and reach out to Rob. You could message him on Patreon because you are a Patreon member. And your name, sir, is Jack Baumgardner. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Congratulations. Yay.
On Instagram, his name is Big Papa 1854. You are the winner. Congratulations. Any final words from anybody?
No, I just hope that he's, this was a win. He did great. They did not have to open him up. He's going to be in pain, but this is what we wanted.
Yeah, the pain is a gimme.
The fact that he actually has a J pouch right now is like
A miracle, despite how bad it was.
From
right?
going back to March to now, the thought of him even having that, like we have one more step.
Yeah, it's been
One more step.
It's been 6 months.
It's been 6 months.
And every night when we go to the gym together, I'll be like, yo, it like doesn't feel like 6 months. It feels like you just got this thing yesterday. Now he'll be like, no, it feels like I've had it for fucking 10 years. But I mean, the reality is, especially with COVID, like he didn't really miss too much. He even went to fucking Mexico. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
Life, you find a way because there
To
are
just
some
keep
because
moving, man.
there are some people that are gonna get that surgery and it ain't gonna work. And your life ain't over if it isn't. You know, like if you don't get the bag reversed, your life ain't over.
And-
you still find ways.
And he
to
is
survive.
lucky because there was, she said, a lot of scar tissue. So if they did have to remove that rectum in that second emergency surgery, he would have had the bag.
And this is what I spoke
But
about.
now he was in a hospital where he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
People equipped to take care of this.
Yeah. Oh, correct.
No
Yeah.
trying to force him to transfer. Like that. This was a good thing. This was a good thing.
And for people out there who follow me on my other podcasts, this is one of the things that I mentioned about depression. Look at the shit that Rob's going through right now, how he feels, the multiple surgeries, growing, losing weight, starting back over. Yo, if you really think that life is ever throwing you lemons, just take a look, take a step back and look at other people's situations and just realize that people are going through some real shit. So when you're mad or upset or depressed about some dumb shit, just take a step back and put your life in perspective against other people's, man. And shit really is not that bad.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I never thought I would ever. You never know. I mean, that's the thing. They don't give you like a fucking manual about life. This is life, and you have to deal with it.
Yep.
Like, that's just what it is.
And at the end of the day, it's so far 6 months, but let's just say a year of his life was shitty. I mean, dude, some people have shitty lives forever.
It will be about a year, but
So,
I mean, and then that's it.
yeah. Also, we want to thank our sponsors, Blue Chew and Lucy. In our description will be the links for both of the sponsors, so we want to thank them. Today is Thursday, September
16th.
16th, so we'll be back next Thursday.
And Rob should be up and kicking, man.
Yeah,
So,
Rob should be okay. It should be interesting to hear him talk. It's funny because this time he went in the hospital, and it's not like he's coming out like losing 80 pounds or anything. You know what I mean?
No.
So, and he's like barely even got any scarring, obviously, because they used the robot.
He was already eating today
Yeah.
before I left. I mean, I'm not saying like a huge meal, but he was already having like ices, pudding, cookie. Like he was already eating.
So things
These are all good things.
Yeah, things will be all right. And God forbid there's some kind of fucking spiral out of this. Again, until you're dead, life is okay. Until you are dead, you're fine.
He's good.
So
This was a big win. He's good.
and we'll be back next Thursday. This is the Glorious House of Gainz podcast.
Episode 176. Let's get it. Let's go.
We're signing out.
Swallows the goal, size is the prize. It's Gainz o'clock, motherfucker. Let's go.